far ahead do you feel than you were at this point last year?
Significantly. I think we're so far ahead from last year. We've got 4, 5, 6 guys that were on the team last year that can help disseminate information from one guy to the next. They know terminology, they know what the expectation is, they know what the drills are. So, I mean, with that alone, we're so far ahead. And then I think from just a maturity standpoint, we had one guy on our whole team last year that had ever been a college basketball starter, and that was Hayden Brown. We got 7 this year. So in those 2 categories alone, aside from any differences in skill set or length or anything like that, I think we're significantly ahead of where we were a year ago.
This trip, in terms of what you could already do in the summer, do NCAA rules, this new trip, how much enhancement do you get in terms of practice time and obviously the 2 games?
Yeah, so when you have every 4 years you can go on these foreign tours and you get 10 practices that go along with that. So today was one of those. So typically in the summer you get 4 hours of basketball and then 4 hours of strength and conditioning. And then that ramps up in these practices. We can treat them like regular practices. So I think it's invaluable, the experience that the guys get, and just in terms of what real practice is going to look like. The workouts are just different than a real practice, and we had some real practices. I turned my volume up a little bit more in these practices, so it's good for the guys just to get a little bit of that in the summer anyway.
And I guess also it's invaluable when it comes to team bonding to go on a trip like this.
To me personally, there are a lot of things that go along with a trip like this. 90% of it involves the team bonding, in my own personal estimate. I hope we play well. I hope we play well for their sake, so that they'll feel good about themselves. To me, I mean, don't let this cat out of the bag, but I want to go down there and spend time with each other, and the travel of it and the trip and different roommates. It's the first time they'll be exposed to different roommates, and they'll be going down water slides and doing some snorkeling, I imagine, or whatever they're going to do. We're going to enjoy ourselves. They've been here working hard for 8 weeks, so part of it is that. Obviously, there's a big thing about the basketball is a huge part of it, but the biggest part to me is the growth that happens amongst teammates while you're on a trip like this.
And things that you'd like to see.
Basically, our competitiveness is one thing that I like, and really that's all it stands out that we're a significantly more competitive group, and therefore when I make challenges, people try to respond to those challenges based on just their competitive spirit, not a rule that we have in defensively, because I try to keep it simple in the summer also. We don't go through every single thing, but I say the biggest thing is just our competitive spirit, and then we got a lot of room for growth in a lot of areas. So I haven't really even evaluated that, but I have been really happy with our competitive spirit and as well and how we communicate with each other. I say space and pace, but those I do value both of those things, and to me, pace is more in the half court, to be honest with you. It's not the pace at which we run from rebounding it down to score and get a shot in the first 6 seconds. I hope we can do that, but teams are good in this league. I don't know that you do that a whole lot, but the pace with which you cut, the pace with which you go to screen, the pace with which you attack the rim, I think that's pace to me. And so I want to space the floor. I like to have skilled guys in most positions. Skilled doesn't always mean you can shoot. It doesn't mean we'll have 5 guys that can shoot the 3 at all times out there. There will be sometimes we do have 5 guys that shoot the 3. There'll be others that we don't, but they'll be skilled in that they feel comfortable stepping off on the perimeter, handling it, and making a decision or making a pass. That's skill to me. So that's the way I want to play. I like to do a lot of unscripted things. I like small, quick hitters versus long plays that are really long and tell a long story. Most of our plays are for situations and not for shots, and so I want guys just to be able to play freely. He's in a pretty good spot from a health standpoint right now, so I'm just excited that my anticipation will be that every player will have some sort of story that involves basketball as we go down there. Everybody will get into the games, unless for whatever reason they don't want to. But Bo Ryan is in the Hall of Fame, and he's probably forgotten more about basketball than maybe I'll ever know. But I remember we played Carrollton College or University, whatever it's called, in Canada one year, and they beat us. And this was a team that went to the national championship game, and they were good, and they beat us. And then the next 2 games that we played there, the starters got a lot of minutes in those games, and so I'm really interested in having everybody be a part of this experience. Aside from the stories that they'll have on the beach and in the water slides, I want them all to have a basketball story as well. So I'll be committed to trying to get everybody to have some significant minutes in the games. There's been a lot of improvement. It's so early for me to say anything, but I think all the guys that are back are significantly better in one way or another. Some of Michi's decision making has improved. Zach's had a couple days where he's been really good. Zach Davis, Benjamin Bosmans-Verdak's he's been the catalyst on that second group that he's been on in terms of getting offense moving. And Jacoby Wright has had, again, a couple weeks where he was really, really, really good. He's probably one of the most improved guys. I think you saw it last year during the season. And then even from the end of the season till now, he's continued to be on the same trajectory, which is moving in the right direction and upward. So I think just generally we've had a lot of improvement. Some of it's just comfortability with who they are, with our system and where they stand. And so because of that, they get out there and they just play.
With a guy like trying to get him game reps, get some of that rust off with not rushing him back.
Yeah, he hasn't done a lot of live stuff with us. It's a work in progress. He had a significant injury. The Achilles is one of the most time-intensive injuries to come back, and probably one of the most least reliable injuries to recover from in terms of predicting when that will happen. And so every day I'm just waiting for the day that he gets out there. It's going to be an emotional moment for me. The first time he puts shoes on and steps out there in a game. He's an incredible young man. He loves the game of basketball like most kids don't. It's why he's in this country. He could have gotten a really good education in a lot of places. He came here for basketball, so I'll really be looking forward to the day that he steps on the court. So it's still a work in progress. He's not there yet, but he's getting better every day.